Oh, Cheri, there's something brown on your nose.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Let's get the show started. And then we'll talk about that because that was hilarious.
Started in here.
Well, the thing that everybody doesn't know is that we are often naked together in the mornings.
That's true.
Via selfie. Andy and I take our ugly selfies in the morning and send them to each other very often. So this is nothing new to us.
Except for you have makeup on, and
I have makeup
hair's
on.
done, and I have my glasses on. So
there. So.
Oh, wow. Well, Cheri, have I got the genitals for you?
If you've got an itch, Andy Vargo will scratch it. Welcome to Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy drinking a glass of water. I'm Cheri Hardman.
And I'm Andy Vargo.
And we're here to discuss many, many topics with our own special brand of scrutiny. How are you today?
I am excellent, Cheri. How are you?
I'm fantastic, but yeah, let's just cover that right now. I seriously came home from work. I'm sitting at the table, piddling around. You know, I always have that mirror on my table where I pluck my chin hairs and stuff. And I look and I'm like, I have chocolate on the end of my nose, and nobody said anything all day. Like Jordan Liebeck is gonna die, you know. Like, so I like instantly Facebook it, and I think, who else am I going to be mad at work? And then somebody says, you were wearing a mask all day. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm like, I'm just going to pretend like that was a joke. But no.
Yeah. Like, of course I knew that. Joke's on you.
Yeah. No,
oh, I forgot about mask life. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Nobody ever said I was smart.
Well, I heard you were. I heard you were an overachiever.
How's your day going so far?
Today has been amazing. I'm right before the show. I was starting to like, it's a good thing I didn't sit down in a comfortable chair because I would have fallen asleep, because I think I've been up since yeah, now you're yawning already. I know it's boring. But I think I was up since 5 o'clock whenever we started messaging this morning. But I had a really productive day. Exciting thing for me is I went to a coffee shop and I forced myself to sit down and get back into writing. But you know, I write little things here and there, but to actually professionally write, like sit down, set a timer, focus on something that's a project that I want to complete. And I've been struggling with where to start on this, and so kind of forcing myself to do it, it just felt really good. And I've had a lot of other stuff I got done today after that. So it's a good day.
Well, good.
How about you, other than your chocolate problem?
My day was very busy, and I have my necklace on backwards, but my day was very busy. Like I didn't really even have any time to screw around. I had actually had to work all day. So
oh damn.
I know. But I got some stuff. I don't know how this necklace goes. Oh well. I got some stuff accomplished that I'm pretty proud of. So, you know, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Well, do you have stuff coming up you want to share?
A nap, apparently. Let's see. I don't have any shows this week or this weekend at all. That's fine.
Other than you're hosting Monday.
But yeah, but Sunday I'm doing the class at Nate's Comedy Club. The class is on crowd work, improv, and act outs, which are the 3 things I'm not that good at. So
that's a really smart thing to do, to take a class in those areas. You know, if it's an area that you don't feel that great about, then that's a great way to do it.
Right. And that's, you know, you should always try to grow, I think. So, so there's that. But then, yes, Monday night, Odd Otter.
Woohoo!
Excited about that. I'm hosting.
Ladies are taking over.
The women are taking over, and like I keep like trying to decide, do I even want to mention that we're all women on that show, or do we just be a show and
Right.
maybe you happen to notice that we're women? Either way, we're all women on the show. And so
And that here's the thing, like that show is going to be an amazing show with that combination of comedians, regardless of gender. It's going to be a great show.
Right.
I always think it's fun when shows have a theme, whatever they are, whether it's we're all going to joke about our jobs, we're all going to joke about whatever, we all come from this background. This one happens to be that, but it would be funny no matter what, whether that was what people had in common.
Right. Yeah, it's women that I enjoy hanging out with and performing with. We have, I don't know.
I'm
all
like
of a sudden, like it just hit me.
kicking in.
But I'm so excited to have Monica Nevi.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she really is. And it's not often, there's not that many. Well, there is, but you don't get an opportunity to see that many women headliners.
Yeah.
I think we're all underbooked. I'm not saying I'm a headliner. I'm just saying as women, we're all underbooked. And so I love to be able to give the opportunity to someone who's really funny and deserves to headline. And we're going to have good laughs. And some of the best shows I've ever done as far as camaraderie and just having a good time, like with the, have been all women shows. So
yeah.
So anyway, so come out and see it. Odd Otter, Monday night, 7:30. Andy's going to be there working on the Odd Otter side of things and making sure that the venue's all cool for us. And
it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun.
It's a free show. And I was thinking about this the last couple of days about shows that are free. And, a lot of times you go to a show and it's a free show and you show up and there's an opportunity to tip the comedians. And I thought, I think sometimes we need to word it differently and just remind people, hey, you're attending an event, and whether it's comedians or artists or whatever genre it is, because a lot of times there's music at venues with no cover. And I think we need to remind people, hey, you're attending an event with no cover. If you'd like to contribute and help the artists out, here's a way you can do that by tipping, and it'll go to everybody. Right. Just to kind of remind people, hey, that that really means a lot, even if you just put a couple bucks in the bucket, or some people tip $5 or $10, some people put $1 or $2, whatever they have. It really,
we've been really lucky there that people have been supportive, because there's a lot of hours that go into working comedy and writing your stuff, and that those hours aren't paid for. The end result is when you get paid for them. So
exactly. Yeah. And it's a Monday night show. It's an off night, so people can't make a lot of money on that night. So
yeah, and you're going to be home in time. You're home and in bed in time to get up for work. I promise.
Definitely.
All right, so we got that. Beyond that, I don't know what I got. I haven't looked. So
nice.
I got stuff next weekend that I want to talk about next week, and then hang on. Then I'm gonna. Yeah, because Friday the 1st, I have a show online. Saturday the 2nd, I'm going to be in Port Orchard.
Awesome. And we'll get that back out.
So what do you got going on?
You know what? I just got the show on at Odd Otter there. And it's interesting because I was actually having this thought earlier when I was working through some things myself, similar to you taking the class on for the audience work and crowd work. When I started doing motivational speaking, I watched a lot of videos on certain aspects of speaking and how to be a good speaker. And I've been very happy with how I've been put out there as a speaker and how I've done. But I actually was thinking about rewatching some of the tutorials I watched. I've been in Toastmasters the last 2 years. I've gotten a lot of practice, but I had this thought about, going back to my roots, very exploratory, to just see what pieces could I reestablish that I might want to work on, or that I might notice now that I have gaps in how I do.
Right.
So I kind of committed to doing that this next week, is spend some time on learning. And I've just had the most amazing sessions lately with my one-on-one clients. I was just on a high this morning about this week has been amazing. I have clients that are re-signing up to renew their subscriptions. And it just feels good because, you know, I know that I think differently and that I have a different way of just really dissecting problems and obstacles and helping people through them. But there's nothing that says that more than someone saying, I've paid you for a service and now I want to keep buying that service from you.
Right.
That feels really good. And my clients are just doing some awesome stuff. And I feel honored that they're letting me help them do that. And just
That's
to be
really
a part
cool.
of it. So I'm super excited, and my calendar's filling up with that kind of stuff. And that just makes me so excited. So
No, I'm really happy for you, and that is good. And you know, I'm just really lucky that I get to be your bestie because but sometimes I feel like, should I be paying him for this? Like when
I feel like we have a very mutual helping out of each other, whatever that.
When we go, yeah, when we're having a conversation, I'm like, yeah, I should probably tip him for this, but you know, yeah.
No, it's funny. That's a benefit of being a close friend.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that all you guys are gonna like all like try to be friends with him so you get free services. Pay the man, right?
Right. I can only handle I only have room in the calendar for so many free consultations. Yeah. But no, it is exciting and it's cool. It's fun, and that's you know, that it's cool to see. And
I need to take a class in how to sit still while I'm on camera. I really am so bad about moving around. Like I never really realized how squirrely I am. So you want to talk about Tuesday night? Yeah,
I'm excited because I want to talk about that was going to be my topic for today, not just to recap it because we've been talking about this contest the whole way, and Cheri's talking about the comedy voice at Tacoma Comedy Club. The finals were Tuesday, so we'll tell you how that went. But now that it's over, I want to not just share how it went, but also kind of talk a little bit about the mindset of being in a contest and how that affects you and different ways you could think about it. So I have some ideas I want to share around that and a little behind the scenes on where my mind was as it developed and during the contest. But yeah, so Tuesday was the finals at TCC. It was a lot of fun. I had at least 32 people there that had come out to see me and support me, and that felt amazing. There's some people that I didn't necessarily count as necessarily on my team because I know I had their support, but they may not have specifically come for me, or they might be there anyway. So I counted people that I know specifically came because I was going to be there. And so that was amazing, first of all, from the beginning. And then in case you're not following along, this started out with 66 comedians that all tried out for the Comedy Voice. Each round they got pared down. So they got pared down from 66 to 24. Those went head to head, went down to 12. Those 12 went up 2 weeks ago, and the audience voted on the top 8. And then those 8 of us went up on Tuesday night, did a 7-minute set, and had the audience vote on the top 3. And then those 3 went up and did another set the same night, and the audience voted on the winner. And so I got 3rd place, super excited. I was stoked to make it into the top. That's the furthest I've ever made it. I actually made it 2 rounds further than I've ever made it in this competition.
Sweet.
And so that felt good. And Cheri, you were there obviously as the judge for the team, for my team. But
I know. Yeah, I didn't really do anything. I feel kind of guilty that I got paid for that, but doesn't mean I don't want to get paid for that. I'm just saying. But yeah, there wasn't much to it for me except just sit there and watch, and pretty interesting.
And I got to tell you, I was sitting there. First of all, I have to say there were so many comedians that competed from the beginning, and I'm talking some people who, for one reason or another, didn't make it even through the first round, who I know had it in them to win the competition if their nights would have worked out. And the whole step of the way, everybody who was eliminated or who didn't make it, or for whatever reason, there are so many people who I looked at and I thought, I know they could win this competition, and I know that they have the skill, they have it in them. Sometimes, you know, we don't make the best choices in a competition, or sometimes it's just not our night, or our style doesn't vibe with the people making the choice. There's so many reasons. And even as the night was starting, you know, the first three comedians, I know it was Taylor Bonser and then John Gard, and I believe Adam Tiller was up after him. And I was sitting there watching from the very beginning of Taylor's set, thinking, holy shit, this night is already on fire. And then John went up and had a killer set, and Adam went up and had an amazing set. And I was thinking, like, in my head, I was trying to not let this get to my head, knowing I was going to be competing, but the level of talent was really high that night, and it felt really good to be a part of it. And and for myself, I thought, there are a lot of people here that I would be honored to lose to, and I wouldn't feel bad. I would be, you know, they're doing an amazing job. I always see them do an amazing job. So there was that. I feel like I'm just rambling, so feel free to.
I find it very interesting, because I'm having a hard time not talking like you and I would talk if we weren't on camera. I'm like,
right.
Can't say that, you know.
Oh. Yeah, I hear you. But I did have to put a lot of thought into how I felt about the night myself with my own performance. And I wasn't that excited about my second set, which, you know, even after I did it, I was worried that I burned the light, because I saw it at the end, but I didn't necessarily, I don't know that I saw the first light. So that made me nervous. So I just kind of aborted mission. I was like, oh crap, because if I go over, I'm disqualified, which I already knew I was at third. So he, you know, at least made it that far. But I made, and this is how I felt. And this is not in any reflection about being bitter about how I placed. This is my own reflection on how I felt I could have done. And this is not to say that if I did different things, it would have changed the results. I just know if I had done a couple things different, I would have felt better about my second performance. And that's where I want to get into this stuff behind the head, because Richie Armani won, and John Mark Gard was in second, and both of them had great sets both times. Richie, I've never seen since I haven't seen him for a long time. I've seen him the last 6 months or so. I've never seen him have a bad set. He's done really well, and he brought a good crowd, and that's part of comedy. I did a couple newer jokes in my second set, and that threw me off in my spacing and timing. And then that got in my head during my set. And part of me thought, if I would have gone with some of my more tested jokes, they're a little bit raunchier, they're edgier, they're funnier, I would have felt better about my set. Now, that's not to say that that would have pushed me over the top in winning. It wouldn't have pushed, it might not have even pushed me into second place. I just know I wish I would have competed a little better in that area. But at the same time, one of my goals for comedy is to do clean comedy and to push myself to do that. And the things that I added in were some clean jokes, and they were new jokes that I developed over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And so personally, those are in line with my comedy goals. And so those were a good challenge. I didn't feel horrible about how the jokes went. They just weren't the over the top like some of the other ones were. So I feel like, you know, you have your two goals. You have your goal for the night, and you have your goal for where you really want to go. And to be honest, you know, comedy is not my main passion. And so for me to not have that be my main focus in life.
Well, and can we just remind everyone that you weren't even entered in this competition?
Right.
You just like at the last minute found out you could put your name in the bucket, and you'd had a couple beers. So you said, what the hell?
Exactly. Yeah.
That was
the thing too. I didn't plan to be in the competition. I threw my name in the bucket. And then from that point on, I took it seriously. So I'm thrilled. I was excited to be in third place. But I do want to remind people that when you enter a competition, you can look at the results and you can go into a couple different mindsets. You can be bitter about how someone made it, whether they brought a lot of people and that helped them win. You could be bitter about how you think things were set up. You could be mad at yourself for how you did. But all of those things, competitions are so subjective. And I think we step into them sometimes And what I hate to see anybody do who competed is be too hard on themselves based on the results of any competition, because they're so subjective, and you need to be able to say, okay, what can I learn from it that to make sure that I compete at my highest level? And if you feel like you did your best and you competed at your highest level, then you can't be mad at yourself. And you have to just know that comedy is subjective, and any form of art is. This could be if it's a baking contest or painting contest, someone is going to be judging and deciding how well they think you did based on how they interpret the art. And so if you can step out of the contest or competition and say, I did the best I could. And if you don't feel like you did the best, like there's a couple things I know I could have done better on my second set, then you need to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take that lesson and I'm going to make sure I strategize differently the next time I'm in the situation, but not be, mad or bitter. Because like I said, I could have mixed up some things. I could have had a set in my second set as good as my first set. And it wasn't an awful set. It was just, I know I could have.
Oh, yeah, but your first set was a really good.
It was
better.
It was on. And that's
well, I think that's how you should play it in a situation like that. You want to get into the top 3. So
right.
You really have to, I think, do your best stuff in that first set. And then your second set can be your weaker stuff, but just save one big banger for the end.
Right. Which is what I did. Yeah. Although there's a couple jokes, and we talked about this before. There's a couple jokes that sometimes are loved by the crowd and sometimes are kind of especially if they're kind of edgy. And I thought, well, I didn't want to risk that, so I went with the clean jokes. But looking back, knowing how that crowd reacted to my first set of jokes, they probably would have eaten up some of the edgy stuff. Especially, I don't know, I hadn't told you beforehand that I was going to pull out my Halloween joke. So I don't know if you heard me starting to say that, if you tensed up at all, if you were like, oh, he's going there.
No, I was glad, because I love that joke. So
yeah, it's seriously one of my favorite jokes, and I haven't told it.
I think you've been gay long enough that you can tell that joke now.
Exactly. And it is seasonal, because it is the right time of year to tell it. And so I had it in there, and I thought, depending on how my timing is going, I'm going to pull that out. And so and people loved it. So anyway, so that's the contest. It's exciting. I'll get some hosting time out of being in third place. So there's that. I also, I can say, hey, I got third place in this contest. So, that can help me get some bookings. And I'm happy that I was able to rise to the challenge, and I am happy that I forced myself to get into some open mics the last couple of weeks and try getting some new material that I've been wanting to work on. And that has spurred my thinking enough that I've actually written the beginnings of several jokes yet to be developed, because my goal for comedy is to be able to do corporate, tie it into my motivational speaking. And if I'm not taking the risk to have the times when I bomb again or start over on some of that voice, this competition caught me in a weird time, because I was already wanting to move that direction. So I didn't want to write more of the same.
Right.
So it was good. I was ecstatic. I was happy. I'm so grateful and thankful for everybody who came out. The crowds were great. And that was the other thing too, is I wanted to say, in comedy, a lot of times people are like, oh, someone brings a lot of people. Well, with any craft, you have to learn the talent of the craft, and then you have to learn the business of the craft. And part of being in the business of comedy is bringing people to shows. You will get booked more if you fill seats. And so, Richie did a great job of that. There are other comedians who did a great job through the whole contest of filling the room, and that will get you booked.
All right, but let me say the other side of that is that when you are new, you can bring a lot of people. I would always have like 20 to 30 people in my show when I first came, and I thought, oh, look how popular I am. Everybody comes out to see my show.
Right.
And then there comes a day when that does end. They might come out. They might come out for maybe special occasions or stuff like that. But the last couple contests I've been like Nate's contest. The night that the finals, I had maybe 5 people there.
Yeah, that's true. because
So
even
you have to get used to that happening. And you also have to start getting out after a while good enough that you can go into another city where nobody knows you and still win a contest.
yeah, that's a really good point. And I do remember that, because I remember I could get anywhere from 6 to 10 people coming to just my 4-minute set at an open mic. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be at the comedy club tonight. And I was stoked and excited. And they were like, oh my gosh, I get to see you do comedy. And people who hadn't seen me do comedy were just eating up the chance to come. And you're right, that does fizzle out, because essentially eventually they've seen you. It's like, okay, now I know what you're doing. And maybe when you get big enough to be headlining or something, they're going to come and be like, oh my gosh, you're going to get me in for free, right?
Yeah. Well, I have family members and co-workers that have never seen my comedy 6 years in.
Yeah, I me too.
It's
I
kind of
believe that.
hurtful, actually. And that's why I wanted to talk about support, but I don't want to talk about that today. You know what? We have a game to play too. So we got to remember.
We should play the game, because
I'm play the game right now. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
if you're
gonna play
ready.
a game
And then
called Does Andy Know Who They Are, or something like that. Does Andy know who this is? And I want to explain why. Because every time I mention somebody, Andy's like, who's that? Now, I think you're pretty much fucking with me yesterday.
No, I actually was not. I had heard the name. I was familiar that this was somebody in music. I actually thought it could be like a male rapper, not who it was. But I didn't know for sure. But I will say that when I went and played some of I looked them up, and then I found out it was a musician. And when I played some of their music, there were a few songs that I recognized that I like. I'm just really bad at paying attention to. I'm like, oh, I didn't.
Right. So I mix this up. I have in the game, I've got people from all genres of entertainment, all oldies, newbies, everything. Okay. So I think some of them are just little gifts that I gave you because they're so easy.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm always just shocked by some of the shit you don't know. So we'll see. Now, the thing is that I want to put like a little theme song with it, but you can't play any music if it's going to be on a podcast and blah, blah. So it's just like, so it's just going to be dry.
Okay.
So let's see.
I'm giving you music. Does Andy know who this is?
Let me figure out where there's the presentation button.
Okay.
All right. Celebrity version. Does Andy know who this is? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yes.
You like my little color scheme?
I like that. That's nice.
Who is this?
Is that who we saw yesterday? Is that Nicki Minaj?
Yeah.
Or no, I mean, Lizzo. That's Lizzo. That's who it was yesterday.
Yes, Lizzo, an American singer, rapper, songer, and flautist. I hope you were kidding when you asked me who she was yesterday.
I wish I was.
All right, I want you to pass this. You've got 1 out of 10 so far.
Okay, yay.
Let's see if you have to get at least 7 for it to be a passing grade.
Passing grade? Okay.
Who is this?
I don't want to sound wrong, like by guessing the wrong person. It's not Bob Marley, is it?
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
This is Flavor Flav.
Okay, well,
he's an American rapper, hype man, television personality. He co-founded the rap group Public Enemy, but we walked past him in our hotel.
Oh yeah, he had the big clock. Oh yeah, that was that guy. I think his hair was shorter when we passed him.
I didn't want to give you the clock because that would have made it too easy.
I still would have forgotten his name though. Honestly.
All right. Who's this?
That's Ariel. I don't know.
Amy Adams, American actress.
Okay, I've seen her in some movies.
She's won 2 Golden Globe Awards, nominated for 6 Academy Awards. So.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Who's that?
I have no clue. A stripper?
Oh my God, really?
I don't know. Is that Britney Spears? I don't know who that is. Shakira. Oh, I that's a singer.
Yeah, her hips don't lie.
Oh, that's what, yeah. Ooh, baby, my hips don't lie. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah,
Right.
that's a fun song. I like that song.
Yeah, you're not doing very well so far. Andy.
Okay. I just need 7.
Who's that?
I don't know. Is it Tom Hanks's son?
No, it's Billy Eichner. You should
Oh,
know him because your friend Cheri adores him. He was
Okay.
on the show Difficult People and Billy on the Street.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I've heard people mention Billy on the Street, but
And I'm not saying you should know everyone that's gay, but
oh, is he gay?
yes.
Okay, well, I'll add him to my list.
Okay.
He's handsome. He's a handsome fellow, and apparently he's got money.
All right, who's that?
I don't know. Okay, I also don't know this person. I'm sorry.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm totally serious. I don't know.
It's Yoko Ono. Good
Oh,
God.
that's Yoko Ono?
Yes.
Oh no, you're never gonna talk to me again. Well, the last picture I saw was her with like Paul McCartney, like as a couple.
It's not Paul. She wasn't with
The
Paul
long
McCartney.
hair.
Oh my God, Andy. She was with John Lennon, not Paul McCartney.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Yoko
okay.
Ono, of course.
Okay.
All right, maybe they can get the next one.
Is she still alive?
Oh wait, not the next one. Yes, she's still alive. Who's this? Oh God.
Sorry. I have no idea. I'm gonna guess a singer because there's a microphone in front of her, but I don't know.
Whitney Cummings is an American stand-up
Oh.
comedian.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. 4 stand-up specials. All right, who's that?
Oh, that's the Family Feud guy. It's not Dick Parker. It's Richard Dawson.
Yay! I knew you were going to get that one.
All right. Whew, so I got like 8 wrong.
6 wrong, 2 right.
Oh, dang. Oh, is there more? There's more. I don't know, but he looks gay.
Yes. Lil Nas X is an American rapper. He did Old Town Road.
Oh,
And he
that's a
just-
country song, isn't it?
Yeah, and he just released a cover of Dolly Parton's Jolene.
Okay. And you say he is gay?
Yes.
He has that look about him, not to stereotype.
All right, and who's this?
I don't know. Where are you finding these people? Like, I mean,
Like I put most popular blah 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 on.
I mean, what happened to like Elton John and Whitney Houston and Madonna
Not 1980
or Marilyn Monroe or Elvis Presley?
And yeah, it's not 1950.
So I'm sorry.
Harry Styles.
Okay. Oh, I've heard of him.
Okay, well that was Harry Styles.
Okay.
So you got 8 wrong, 2 right.
Oh, that's it. We're done.
Okay, so now other people will know why I get so frustrated by the fact that Andy.
Well, if you would pick
know
less
who
obscure
anybody is.
people, then
All right. So I would like other people to comment on what kind of a score they got. Be honest. Let Andy know how many out of 10 you got.
Todd Royce said he's at 7. What does he win? So Todd Royce, you beat me. Good job. You're going to get TikTok famous with that kind of celebrity knowledge.
Who did you miss, Todd? How come I'm not seeing his comments?
Oh, he blocked you.
Probably. I wonder who he missed.
We'll see. Maybe he'll throw them in there for us. I'll check back here in a second.
Okay. Anybody else? I don't know if anybody else is watching and taking the quiz. We can do it
they'll
again.
Fill it in on the replay if they don't they don't answer right now. So we'll reply to your comments and look forward to that.
Yeah, because I'm curious because I thought it was actually fairly easy.
And that would be a great thing if you guys want to play a game with your friends. Send them that segment and find out how many they get. Or that'd be a great drinking game. Every time you get one wrong, you got to take a shot. I don't know. I can't afford to play that game myself because I have to drive after this. Maybe
You
sometimes
know,
I'll have to
we
do
need
that.
to do a drunken version of Scrutiny. I keep saying that. Mostly just
Yeah.
because I want to keep wanting to get drunk. But here's the deal about getting drunk is that what happens is I can't drive home. But if I do it with Dave, because he's my designated driver, I can't have any fun. So,
Well, after
oh, no, wait, I
Saturday
shouldn't say
night,
it like that. But what?
I don't know if I'm ever going to drink again. Saturday night got a little wild.
Oh, that's right. You did have a wild one. See, I'm jealous. I don't get to have those wild nights.
But see,
Oh,
if I'm in my apartment alone, whose ass am I going to slap? And who's going to accidentally make out with me? And whose number am I going to get?
Well, we could do a drunken Scrutiny like in person, like in a.
Ooh, that would be fun.
It'd be too loud in a bar though. We'll figure something out because there should be some, or we could do party version or something. I don't know.
Yeah, more to come on that.
Yeah.
So Cheri, or did you have something else you were going to say?
No, not about that.
Okay, because you had a topic to talk about today.
Yeah, I want to talk about dirty comedy.
Ooh, dirty.
And the reason, of course, people call me a dirty comedian all the time. And there is some perception that dirty comedy is easy, low-hanging fruit. Now, I personally don't think low-hanging fruit means dirty. It just means it's an easy joke.
Right.
And I'm dirty, but I'm pretty damn clever. Richard Pryor had some dirty stuff that was pretty smart. George Carlin did too. A lot of people have. So, maybe just you could say vagina and people are just going to laugh because of the word vagina for a second, but it's not going to hold you for anyway. So I have a lot of feelings about this. First of all, I have people men comedians tell me that I'm too dirty, but then I hear them get up on stage and talk about their dicks and grosser stuff. Like they use like dirty descriptive words. And I really I say vagina and I say penis and balls, but I don't.
Well, and I think there's a difference between talking about a subject and then being hardcore crude with that subject.
Or graphic or
because it's one thing to talk about sex and make fun of the experience and use words that describe what's going on or whatever. But when you're just going on and on in super graphic detail, for one, you're not leaving anything to the audience's imagination. And when I hear comedians like that, I'm looking for the punchline. Like a lot of times I see them up there talking like that, but they don't give a punchline. There's nothing that's actually funny other than the shock value of telling some graphic, nasty story. And to me, that's what I consider hardcore dirty versus a taboo subject that you wouldn't talk about around.
Like to me, like I think of my comedy as risque, not dirty.
Yeah, I do too.
But I will say for young comedians, if you can write clean because you're going to get booked more. I think a lot of times you could put me up against a comedian that's not as funny, but they're clean, and they're going to get booked more. For sure, I know for sure that's true.
It's a safer bet for a club that you're putting if you're putting someone up to host or feature in front of a traveling headliner, that you're not going to upset that headliner's audience. You're not going to outshine the headliner, and that they're pretty versatile as far as where you could place them with different people.
But do you really want to be the comedian that is just safe to be in the middle? Like I don't want to do that. Maybe some people do. I guess I do want to be the person that nobody wants to go after for whatever reason.
And the thing that's important too to remember, whatever your style is, you need to own it and stick with it, because the people that are your true fans will find you and follow you, and they will stay with you because you are sticking with who you are. And it may be difficult to get over that first hurdle of getting from where you don't get to host very much and then you get to feature, But then I think once you get to that feature spot, it's going to be easier to break through into the headliner because you've got your true hardcore fans that will show up and see you.
Right. Well, and here's the thing too. I think a lot of times in comedy, you know, they talk about your comedy voice, and maybe I really thought I knew what my comedy voice was when I started, and I kind of did. But then, like, as I matured a little bit more, like I'm not like I'm some expert. I'm just saying my journey's been this way, that I really realized that my comedy was something different than I thought it was, because I had so many women come up to me after shows and say, almost just kind of whisper to me and say, "You're such an inspiration. I wish I could be like you." Like,
Wow.
you know, like wanting to, I think a lot of women feel held back by whatever in their lives. You know, like they can't be or do what they want to be because they're too old or they're too fat or they, you know, are in a bad relationship, whatever the reason. And they see me up there and like, well, God, she's in a wheelchair. She's 60 years old. But she's up there doing this thing. And I think I really felt a responsibility about that. And then my voice just became being about that.
Yeah. And that's powerful.
And empowering women.
Mhm.
You know, people might not understand how telling vagina jokes is empowering women, but the women get it, you know?
Well, and the
And
way that you
so,
set it up, typically when you talk about it being a measure of how far you've come or the society's come, that makes it really like, wow, I really respect you. You're not just trying to be dirty, you're making a statement. And they're not even dirty. I don't even want to say that. You're not trying to be edgy. You're making a statement by using that power and giving voice to it and letting other people see how powerful and important it is.
yeah, well, and it's fun, but I guess I think that finding your voice is actually really like a fun part and an epiphany when you just realize, oh, well, I mean, of course, you're there to make people laugh. It's jokes. It's having a good time. But then when you really realize, I guess having a voice too, they say, is like, if I hear this joke, I know who wrote it.
Yeah.
By the voice, you know?
Yeah. And that's one thing that I have gone back and forth with a little bit, because I have mostly joked, you know, 90% of my jokes are about coming out, being gay, dating, those experiences. But I don't really feel like that's the heart of what I want my voice to be. And I'll tell you, the thing that made a big difference for me in how seriously I took comedy, and this was before you and I were exclusive as comedy besties, but you had posted on Facebook, has anyone seen that show on Amazon called Can We Take a Joke? I want to discuss it. And I had been in comedy maybe a year. We were chatting, but not as much as we do now. And I remember watching it and really having a turning point in how seriously I took comedy and my role as a comedian, because it really talked about how much it's comedians' jobs to kind of be the pulse and challenge the thought of society and really put issues in front of people. And it had amazing comedians from all sorts of different styles over different decades talking about, you know, what they were standing up for, why they did what they did, why they got edgy when they got edgy, and why they stayed in whatever lane they were in. But it all came down to society is going a certain direction, and it's our job to challenge it and make people think about it. And when I watched that, I kind of got religious about comedy in my head, where I thought, wow, this is an important job. It's not just me making a jackass out of myself. Now, I don't think I've brought my voice around to support what I want to yet.
Well, that takes a while.
Yeah, and I've given it a lot of thought lately, especially through this contest, because this was really, I've done shows again starting in March, but it was like one a month and a little here and there, and just kind of using some of my material from before, not really redeveloping stuff. So this contest really pushed me into thinking about what I want to lead with going forward. And so I have given it a lot of thought, and I'm getting close to where I want to get, but it's going to take a little bit more soul searching, if you will.
Well, and you've got your other thing. The two will go hand in hand. They will mesh together at some point, you know.
Yeah.
But I really like I really bristle and take exception with the fact that like dirty comedy is bad or it's low hanging or it's cheap laughs or whatever, because I have some pretty damn clever jokes.
Mhm.
And
Well,
and typically audiences love me. People are like, they're worried about what the audience is going to think. Fucking audiences love me. Like I've never really met an audience, oh, maybe one audience, you know, never really
mhm.
met an audience that didn't love me.
Yeah,
So why don't
and
people take that into account? Aren't they supposed to be making their audiences happy? I don't know.
yeah, and that was the thing that you know, when I've been in contests lately or been in a situation where I'm not sure about if I'm even feeling like I'm in the right place for that room, I just try to get my mind back in the space of no matter what's at stake, no matter who's here, my job is to have fun with that room and entertain those people.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I place or not, if I entertain the room and we have fun and I can make a point or drive home an idea, that's even better. And that's where I want to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's easy to say any particular thing is lazy or is whatever. I think another thing too, there are jokes that I hear, and sometimes you'll hear a premise or an idea. And I remember talking about this in our comedy class where they talk about, you know, if you're going to do a joke, maybe Google it, make sure it wasn't a meme somewhere, because just because it's out there, you could still have the original idea in your head. It could be original and you could have thought about it. Excuse me. But that doesn't mean that it was unique enough that 20 other people haven't had that. And
Right, for
I
sure.
hear a lot of jokes that are similar, and I don't look at the comedian and say, oh, they stole that, because in those situations, I don't think that's the case. But I do think that they haven't maybe been aware enough that that's just too common of a thing to joke about.
Which is,
And
that's when it's low hanging fruit because it's just too easy to write.
yeah, and the thing is with those, rather than, you know, I've had a couple things that I've said where I found out there was something similar out there, and in that case, I just abort the joke, because it's not worth looking like I copied somebody. It's not worth looking very unoriginal, and I would rather just let it go and be like, I'm not gonna sit
Yeah.
here, or if I find out
I had one like that not too long ago where I was like, I heard someone like tell the exact joke, like in the exact same way that I had been telling it.
Mhm.
And then not too long after that, I heard someone else tell a similar version. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what, it's just such an easy joke that we're probably just all writing it. And I can't do that one anymore, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing is, and you have to be aware and in tune enough with kind of society and what's going on to kind of think, okay. And that's like, I didn't, you know, I did one COVID joke basically about, you know, having syndrome, where all these people have syndrome and it's ugly under mask. But
I used that one today at work, by the way.
Huh?
I used that one today at work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. But I do, I purposely steered away from writing any COVID jokes, because I knew every comedian was going to be coming out talking about being stuck at home during a pandemic. What do you do? And I just thought, I don't want to make that a big thing. The reason why I use that particular joke is because it tied into me talking about dating and how COVID affected my dating situation. So I felt, okay, it's current, it's timely, and it ties into what I'm doing. But I'm not going to go down the path of, you know, when you're at an open mic or even you're watching comedy on TV and it's just, you know, either politics or something major happens in the world and everybody's making a joke to try and get their claim on the thing that just happened.
Right.
And you're just going, oh, here we go.
Well, it's like all the late night shows. It got where like they'd all tell almost exactly the same joke every night, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I don't really like to do that kind of humor. It just doesn't turn me on because, you know, I don't want to think about stuff I don't want to think about. I did have a lot of people Saturday night come tell me, oh God, it feels so good just to get out and laugh. Like they hadn't really gotten out and laughed in a while. They might have gotten out and gotten to go to work and stuff, but not everybody's gotten out to really like experience life like they did before. So
Yeah. Yeah, because
if
people
you
haven't
want to
been.
safely come out and enjoy some comedy,
Mhm.
maybe you could do that. I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah. And yeah, I had some people Tuesday who had made similar comments just about, we haven't really gone out too much. So it was a good excuse to actually get back out. And
Right.
and it does feel good to be out laughing with other people, um, you know, enjoying community as much as you can and being as safe as you can about it. And paying the comedians respect with your laughter. That's what we eat up. So.
Yes, we do.
So I did see
Yes,
that
we do.
Todd commented on the people that he missed, and
Okay.
Shakira, Harry Styles, and Amy Adams. Is it Adams? The Amy one.
Oh, but he knew Yoko Ono and Richard Dawson.
I knew Richard Dawson. Who was the other one?
I didn't think maybe he would, but yeah.
I got Richard Dawson. Oh, and then I kind of half got Lizzo because I said the wrong name.
You corrected yourself.
Yeah. And the only reason why I said Nicki Minaj at first was because that's the other person who I didn't know who they were. And I only learned that this week because he popped up in the news. And I was like, oh, that's who that is. I think
I was going to ask you to figure out which Kardashian was which. I thought about that.
Oh, I would.
But I figured you wouldn't be able to do that.
I wouldn't even know they were Kardashians.
All right. Well.
So this has been an amazing episode. Is there anything you want to touch on before we leave our people?
Oh, now I finally see Todd's comments. Is there anything else I want to touch on? I don't know. I don't want to go yet, but I don't have anything to say, so I guess this should be it. Do we have anything? We're on for next week doing Scrutiny. So yep. 4 p.m. next Thursday.
And that's going to be fun.
Let's see if I can come up with some other kind of little. I like when we play games. It's fun.
Yeah, it is a good time. And like
especially
I said,
it makes you look stupid. You need to come up with a game to make me look stupid.
I need to work on that. I'm going to be like, the problem is we don't have those same moments in reverse. other than yesterday, I do have to share this. Yesterday, I texted Cheri about 4:15 and I said, hey, are you still up to record soon?
I know, and I freak out. I'm like, oh shit. And then wrong day.
I was just messing with her because that.
And then I had to ask Dave, I go, isn't today Wednesday? Yeah, he does that kind of stuff to me all the time. I usually don't fall for it, but sometimes I do.
I know. Or I'll say something like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe that, I'm trying to think of her name. I can't believe how Susie's getting shows booked left and right. And, and I'll start talking about something and what she did in a situation. And Cheri's like, who? I didn't see that. And I'll be like, oh yeah, she got Madge booked at, whatever. And she's like, are you talking about Mrs. Maisel again?
That is funny. Huh? You haven't done that to me in a while.
I know. I shouldn't have even said it.
I don't think we're watching any of the same shows anymore.
No.
It was back in the Mrs. Maisel days. Well, anyway, it's been lovely talking to you.
It has been a blast.
I can smell my husband is out there making dinner. So.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah.
I scarfed down some food right before this because I was starving.
What'd you eat?
I ate mashed potatoes, broccoli, and some barbecue tofu wedges.
Are you trying to be a vegetarian?
Well, I eat a lot of vegan stuff when I'm at home, and when I go out, I don't really worry about it. But I've been buying some prepared meals from New You Cooking and Consulting because I have a ridiculous sized refrigerator. So I buy some prepped meals. I buy 5 from her a week, and they are delicious and amazing. And then I just have to heat them and eat them. And then I'm eating healthy, at least to that degree.
Oh, well, that sounds like a commercial, and not in a bad way. I just
No,
want to
it's
share one last time before we go
all right.
something. Let me
Forward to this commercial break.
do this. This is a little commercial break before we go. This is just a little reminder that
I wonder if it's gonna be a pink flyer. Yes, it is.
that Monday night,
Monday night.
Odd
And you
Otter,
know what?
7:30
How-
p.m. No
The
COVID.
other cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's
No, I was
all.
gonna say, how cool is it that you can meet in person 2 celebrity podcast hosts just because we're telling you where we're gonna be. You can get selfies with Cheri and I. We will sign what you want us to sign. You know, all the good things. Come hang with us at this show. That's gonna be an amazing, fun show.
Well, and not only that, not only am I a former Tacoma Comedy Club voice champion, and Andy is a current The Voice finalist, but headliner Monica Nevi, 2 #1 albums on the comedy charts.
Yes, and I have them both right back there because I got them from her when I saw her the last time about a month ago. So
And Rachel and Tara are fantastic too. So come out and see our show Monday night.
Whoop,
Odd Otter.
whoop.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All
Love
right.
you.
Bye,
Talk to
Cheri.
you later.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.